any of you fascinated by ancient times and ancient people?
Yes.
Can't wait to look on the corpse of somebody who's been dead for 3,000 years, right?
I don't know about that. I'm interested in it.
Last October in the so-called Valley of the Kings, they had what they called this monumental find. What they did was they unearthed 30 coffins. And within those coffins were perfectly preserved mummies who had been dead for 3,000 years. Along with these 30 mummies that they unearthed, they had several other finds, such as locations where they made things with gold, where they had all kinds of pottery, they made furniture, the kind of clothing that they made, water tanks, and all kinds of things. A great find? This is not something that's exciting news to me. These are not things that we need at all. Some new pottery to look at, some new jewelry, digging up people for this. So I want to share with you my total disgust for this whole practice of what I call grave robbery, disrespecting the dead. And I'm going to ask you not to support these practices. I ask you, is it a sufficient enough reason to dig up somebody to see how they lived and what they wore and what their furniture was like? Is that good enough? Okay, I see some of you are saying yes. Well, I think there's not a rational person around who have any kind of curiosity about your ancestors way in the past would consider digging them up to find out about it. I might have had great interest in learning some things about George Washington, but the minute I get a shovel and I head over to the cemetery, I'm looking at some jail time. I think the same thing should apply to these so-called archaeologists. What about these people who are digging up bodies because they want to find out why is it that these people died? What was the illness? This is really worrisome to me. You might be now unleashing some ancient plague. Did you stop and think about that? Historians have written so many books about ancient people in times. If you want to know about these things, can you not just read about it? Do you have to dig up these people and look at them to figure this out? I ask you, where's dignity? Where is respect? And where is morality? I don't think that I or anybody else should be digging up anybody just for the pure sake of curiosity. So the thing of this, how long is it that a person should be dead before it's acceptable or even legal to dig up a body or to start plundering through the graves and the tombs? How long?
100 years.
Very good. That's right. It's called within living memory because they figure after that time probably is not going to be anybody around to know anything about these people and complain. So that's the magic number. But my thing is, does it matter that I didn't know these people personally? Are they still not deserving of any kind of respect because I didn't know them? Should I not even consider what they wanted for themselves? And we know that the Egyptians didn't want to be bothered. They wanted to be left alone because they spent lots of time on these tombs making it hard for you to get into them. But yet and still, we found them and we continue to disturb these tombs. One anthropologist was asked this question. We know that these people didn't want to be bothered. And how do we justify digging them up? You know what his answer was? I don't see where we have any moral obligation to adhere to any of their wishes. This is so callous. So, I have an appeal for you to hold on to your morality and to refuse to give any kind of support to these archaeologists. Don't go to their museums to look at their work. Don't pay 1 brown cent to look at some clay pots or to look on the corpses of somebody who's been dead for 3,000 years. Do not give them 1 cent of your money. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that the Egyptians didn't want this. I don't want this for myself. And I know nobody else does either. Let the dead rest in peace.
All right.